How does Traoré plan to stabilize a nation constantly under terrorism? Traoré isn't just addressing the surface issues like terrorism. He's digging deeper, targeting the root causes of instability. His vision could reshape Africa permanently, but the question remains, can he make it till then? Let's find out. How does a leader remain steadfast while steering a country through the storm of terrorism, political chaos, and economic upheaval? In Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traoré is not only keeping his balance, but boldly advancing against the odds. In a wide-ranging interview on Radio Burkina, Traoré delved into the dangers he faces personally, the strategic choices his government has made, and the challenges of navigating a country besieged by terror. From discussing assassination attempts to laying out plans for economic independence and tackling corruption, Traoré outlined his vision for a sovereign Burkina Faso. But how does Traoré remain focused when facing the constant threat of assassination?
Burkina Faso, along with junta neighbors Mali and Niger, are struggling to contain the rebel groups and terrorists with links to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State.
Traoré's response to the assassination attempts against him reveals a pragmatic and clear-eyed view of leadership. He didn't flinch or show fear when discussing the dangers he faced. Instead, he took a matter-of-fact approach, seeing these threats as the inevitable cost of challenging powerful vested interests. To him, the assassination plots aren't just about his safety. They are symbolic of the pushback his government is receiving from those who have long profited off Burkina Faso's instability. In Traoré's eyes, these threats validate the effectiveness of his actions. They are not a deterrent, but a sign that his government's reforms are hitting the right targets. Corrupt elites and international powers, who have historically exploited the nation's resources, are now feeling the pressure. By making these entrenched interests uncomfortable, Traoré sees his government as shaking the foundations of a system that has benefited a select few at the expense of the Burkinabe people. It's this disruption of the status quo that brings threats of violence, and for Traoré, that means progress is being made. He made it clear that the path toward true sovereignty and justice wouldn't come without conflict. His reforms were never intended to be easy, and the enemies he's creating along the way are proof that he is on the right track. If you aren't making enemies, Traoré mused, you aren't making progress. This statement reflects not just his acceptance of danger, but his understanding that real change requires confrontation with those who have something to lose. Traoré's calm, almost dismissive attitude toward these threats sends a powerful message. He's not afraid to put his life on the line for the greater good of his country. His willingness to face danger head-on isn't driven by recklessness, but by a deep sense of purpose. He's aware that he's not the first Burkinabe leader to face such risks. Traoré openly referenced Thomas Sankara, the revolutionary figure who was assassinated for his uncompromising anti-colonial stance. Traoré sees himself following a similar trajectory, one where personal risk is part of the journey toward true independence. By aligning himself with the legacy of Sankara, Traoré is making it clear that his fight is bigger than him. He understands that achieving real sovereignty for Burkina Faso requires bold actions, even if they come with serious consequences. Like Sankara, Traoré is willing to challenge the status quo, even if it means becoming a target. To him, the threats he faces are not roadblocks, but part of the price of leadership when the mission is to free a nation from external and internal exploitation. With threats to his safety already acknowledged, the larger and more complex question is how Traoré manages the military, a critical force in Burkina Faso's turbulent era. In a country that has seen multiple coups, often influenced by external powers, the military holds the power to both stabilize and destabilize the government. Traoré knows that maintaining the loyalty and integrity of the military is essential not only for his leadership, but for the future of Burkina Faso itself. So, how does he manage that? Here's a reminder to please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black culture, history, civilization, and identity. Let's continue now. Traoré's strategy for managing the military hinges on a delicate balance of trust, reform, and vigilance. He understands that, historically, external forces have used the military as a tool to overthrow governments that challenge their interests. Burkina Faso is no stranger to this type of interference. Many of its past coups have been linked to foreign manipulation, often backed by countries seeking to maintain control over the region's resources. Traoré, acutely aware of this history, takes a proactive approach to ensure that the military remains aligned with the national interest rather than the agendas of external powers. One of Traoré's key moves has been to build stronger, direct relationships with military leaders and rank-and-file soldiers. He has made it clear that the military is not just a tool for enforcing order, but a partner in the country's quest for sovereignty. Traoré frequently visits military bases, shares his vision for the country, and emphasizes that their role is not merely to defend the state, but to defend the nation's sovereignty from all forms of external influence. By treating the military as stakeholders in the nation's future, he has fostered a sense of shared purpose, ensuring that the armed forces are personally invested in the country's well-being rather than susceptible to external bribes or influence. But Traoré also knows that loyalty must be earned, not assumed. He has implemented a series of military reforms aimed at improving conditions for soldiers, from better training and equipment to improved living conditions and benefits for their families. This has boosted morale and built a sense of solidarity between the military and his administration. When soldiers feel respected and valued, they are far less likely to be swayed by external powers or promises of personal gain in exchange for destabilizing their government. Traoré's vigilance against foreign influence within the military is perhaps his most critical defense. He has created mechanisms to identify and neutralize potential internal threats early on. Intelligence units within the military monitor for signs of unrest or foreign meddling, and Traoré himself has spoken about the need to constantly be aware of potential coup plots. He openly acknowledges that external forces will not sit idly by as Burkina Faso seeks to reclaim its sovereignty, and he has taken steps to ensure that the military remains insulated from these influences. Moreover, Traoré has ensured that the military's mission aligns with national interests rather than external powers. By positioning the military as defenders of Burkina Faso's sovereignty, he makes it clear that any betrayal of this mission, such as aligning with foreign-backed coup efforts, would be a betrayal of the country itself. He often speaks about the historical significance of their mission, drawing on the legacy of leaders like Thomas Sankara to instill a sense of pride and national duty within the ranks. But what if external powers still manage to infiltrate or influence factions within the military? Traoré is realistic about this possibility. He knows that no system is foolproof, especially in a country with a history of political instability. That's why he maintains a highly adaptable approach to military leadership. Rather than assuming loyalty, he continuously works to reinforce it, ensuring that the military's loyalty is tied not to him personally, but to the broader vision of a sovereign Burkina Faso. He has also diversified his security apparatus, creating specialized units that report directly to him, and ensuring that key military posts are filled by trusted officers who are firmly committed to the nation's goals. In short, Traoré's management of the military is as much about foresight as it is about trust. He understands that external powers will continue to attempt to destabilize his government through the military, just as they have done many times in the past. But by fostering a strong sense of national identity, implementing reforms that strengthen the military's role as protector of the nation, and remaining vigilant against potential threats, Traoré has built a robust defense against the external pressures that could lead to a coup. Ultimately, Traoré's strategy is to ensure that the military sees itself not as a tool for personal power, but as an essential force in safeguarding the future of Burkina Faso. As long as that vision holds, external forces will find it increasingly difficult to manipulate the military into undermining the government's efforts to rebuild the country. While military reform is crucial, Traoré knows that for true stability, economic independence is equally essential. How does he plan to move Burkina Faso away from dependence on foreign aid? Traoré has made it abundantly clear that economic independence is central to his vision for a stronger Burkina Faso. His approach revolves around harnessing the nation's internal resources rather than relying on foreign aid or loans, which have often come with strings attached. In his recent interview, he outlined several key initiatives designed to move the country away from dependency on external help, focusing instead on local production, self-reliance, and sustainable growth. One of the most notable projects in this strategy is Faso Rail, a groundbreaking infrastructure initiative aimed at modernizing Burkina Faso's railway system. But what makes this project unique is its focus on using domestic resources and talent. Rather than outsourcing the construction or relying on foreign technology, Traoré's government plans to manufacture the rails locally, employing Burkinabe workers and sourcing materials from within the country. This project is not just about improving transportation networks. It's a way to build a national industry that can sustain itself, create jobs, and drive long-term economic growth. By doing so, Traoré hopes to lay the groundwork for an industrial sector that can reduce reliance on costly imports while fostering economic resilience. Beyond infrastructure, Traoré sees agriculture as a cornerstone of Burkina Faso's path to self-reliance. He has repeatedly emphasized that true economic independence begins with the ability to feed the nation. In a country where agriculture is a vital part of the economy, Traoré is pushing for reforms that will enhance productivity and reduce the need for imported food. His government has rolled out support programs for farmers, especially in regions with access to irrigation. These programs provide farmers with seeds, tools, and training, aiming to make Burkina Faso's agricultural sector more productive and competitive. This not only boosts food security but also creates employment opportunities for young people, who are often the most vulnerable to economic instability. Another key aspect of Traoré's economic strategy is his firm stance against foreign loans. In an era where many developing nations have found themselves trapped in cycles of debt, Traoré has made it clear that Burkina Faso will chart a different course. He has categorically stated that his government will not take on foreign loans to finance public projects or military spending. Instead, Traoré is looking inward, focusing on raising funds domestically through public contributions and better management of the country's natural and financial resources. This bold approach underscores his commitment to preserving Burkina Faso's sovereignty, even if it means slower or more challenging development paths in the short term. But Traoré's vision goes beyond just rejecting debt. He understands the long-term costs that come with dependency on foreign aid, which often compromises a nation's decision-making freedom. By building a self-sufficient economy, Traoré aims to empower Burkina Faso to make independent choices that are in the best interest of its people, rather than bending to the will of international donors or foreign powers. He has frequently spoken about how foreign aid has too often been a double-edged sword, bringing temporary relief but creating long-term dependencies that leave nations vulnerable to external pressures. This shift won't happen overnight, and Traoré acknowledges that. The road to economic independence is long and fraught with challenges, but his pragmatic approach, focused on local capacity building, sustainable development, and economic reforms, aims to lay a strong foundation for the future. By investing in national industries and reducing reliance on external sources of capital, Traoré is betting on a Burkina Faso that is not just economically stronger, but politically more resilient as well. Economic independence is a lofty goal, but there's one major obstacle that has long plagued Burkina Faso: corruption. How does Traoré plan to tackle this pervasive problem? And is Traoré serious about eliminating corruption, or is it just political rhetoric? Corruption has been a persistent issue in Burkina Faso, and Traoré didn't shy away from addressing it head-on. His administration, he insists, is taking concrete steps to root out corruption at all levels of government. This isn't just about punishing a few bad actors. It's about fundamentally changing the way the country operates. Traoré spoke about the importance of transparency and accountability in public office. One of his key initiatives is the anti-corruption task force he's established, which is empowered to investigate and prosecute cases of embezzlement, bribery, and misuse of public funds. He also made it clear that these investigations are not limited to low-level officials. His government has already started to prosecute high-ranking officials involved in corruption scandals. But Traoré's approach goes beyond just punishment. He believes in preventing corruption before it starts by addressing the systemic issues that allow it to thrive. His government has introduced stricter auditing practices and implemented digital tools to track government spending in real time. By reducing the opportunities for corruption, Traoré aims to make it harder for dishonest officials to exploit the system. However, Traoré was candid about the scale of the problem. He acknowledged that corruption runs deep in Burkina Faso, and it won't be eradicated overnight. but he's committed to the long fight, knowing that true reform will take time. His anti-corruption campaign isn't just about cleaning houses. It's about restoring faith in the government, something that has been sorely lacking in recent years. While economic reform and the fight against corruption are critical, Traoré's vision also includes a long-term strategy for national cohesion and resilience. What are his plans for uniting a country fractured by conflict? In the interview, Traoré acknowledged that beyond the physical battles being fought in Burkina Faso, there is a deeper struggle for national unity. Decades of instability, coupled with the growing threat of terrorism, have left the country divided. To rebuild this fractured society, Traoré is focusing on fostering a sense of national cohesion and social resilience. One of his key strategies is to empower traditional and religious leaders to play a greater role in their communities. Traoré believes that these leaders are uniquely positioned to mediate conflicts and bring people together. By involving them more directly in governance, he hopes to restore the social fabric that insurgent groups have worked so hard to tear apart. At the same time, Traoré is investing in education and employment programs for young people. He understands that the youth are both the future of the country and the most vulnerable to radicalization. By providing vocational training and creating job opportunities, his government aims to offer young people a better alternative than joining insurgent groups. Traoré also emphasized the importance of psychological support for communities affected by terrorism. He's working with international partners to provide mental health services in regions that have been hardest hit by conflict, recognizing that recovery isn't just about rebuilding homes, it's about healing minds. Traoré's vision is ambitious, but can it be fully realized? Achieving this vision is easier said than done. Africa's economies are diverse, and barriers to trade, such as poor infrastructure, political instability, and protectionist policies, continue to hinder progress. For Traoré's vision to succeed, significant investments would need to be made in infrastructure, from roads to railways, to ensure goods and services can flow freely across borders. Additionally, political alignment among African nations is essential, but that remains a challenge in a continent marked by varying degrees of political stability. Moreover, Traoré's push for regional cooperation is not just about economic survival. It's an existential necessity for the broader fight against the legacy of colonialism. He views African unity as the key to breaking free from centuries of foreign influence, particularly from Western powers that have long dictated the continent's economic and political futures. In this sense, Traoré's vision is as much about restoring African sovereignty as it is about ensuring Burkina Faso's survival in a volatile region. However, there are challenges to realizing this regional cooperation. External powers, both from the West and rising global actors, have vested interests in maintaining their influence over African nations. Traoré has already faced pressures from international actors who are wary of his government's independence and its shift away from reliance on foreign aid. These forces could undermine efforts at regional unity, using economic pressure, political manipulation, or even covert operations to prevent African nations from consolidating their power. For Traoré's vision to take root, African countries must not only work together, but also resist the external pressures that have historically divided the continent. It's a monumental task, requiring a balancing act between building regional alliances and standing firm against global powers that seek to maintain the status quo. So, in the end, while Traoré's vision for Burkina Faso and the broader region is compelling, its realization hinges on overcoming significant internal and external challenges. Regional cooperation, economic integration, and political unity are all necessary steps, but they require sustained effort, leadership, and a willingness to confront the powerful forces that have long shaped Africa's future. If successful, Traoré's vision could pave the way for a new era of African self-reliance and cooperation, but it will take time, determination, and the collaboration of like-minded leaders across the continent. Traoré's interview painted a clear picture of a leader with a bold, uncompromising vision for Burkina Faso. From tackling insurgency and corruption to pushing for economic independence and national unity, his approach is comprehensive, practical, and deeply inspired by the revolutionary ideals of Thomas Sankara. Traoré is not interested in quick fixes or superficial reforms. He's playing the long game, one that requires patience, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to the principles of sovereignty and justice. The road ahead is undoubtedly challenging, but if Traoré can deliver on even a fraction of his promises, Burkina Faso could very well emerge as a beacon of hope for other African nations facing similar struggles. In the face of adversity, Traoré remains steadfast, knowing that the fight for Burkina Faso's future is far from over. With each step, he's guiding the nation toward a future where its people can stand tall, independent, and proud. Do you think Traoré can make a change? What would happen if he fails? Will they stop him? And can they stop him? Let us know in the comment section. What will be the reaction of locals if some external power tries to do something with Traoré? Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If so, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: the Black culture, civilization, history, and evidence about how glorious Blacks have been. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.